Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Echo Underground podcast. I'm Shanique.
This is Mike.
And on this podcast, we talk about movies, music, and TV shows. And on this episode, we're going to talk about the first half of the Netflix series, 13 Reasons Why. And that's basically episodes 1 through 6. So, Mike, how you like it so far?
I like it. It's really real. Like I kind of wouldn't like. I know there's a lot of talk about the show before I even gave us a chance. So. Like everything I've seen so far, it's been not so much of a roller coaster. It's been like a one steady line of me having like internal like arguments with myself as to why certain things are happening in the show. But it's really real though. Like real issues get tackled, real high school things get tackled. I like a lot of the characters. I hate even though it's like characters that I might hate. I like how they're written as like the problem in the story or wherever the story might be.
Yeah, I agree. I also like the show. I think the characters are fascinating. I mean, they are frustrating as well, but they're still pretty good characters, and it makes you like. I mean, I only care for certain characters, but I'm interested in like basically why they're important.
Yeah.
So I guess the way we're gonna do this is tackle each tape. I guess that's the best way to do it.
Well, yeah, and one thing is we got to mention that we're only doing the first 6 episodes for this podcast right now. We're doing this in 2 halves.
Yeah, I said that in the beginning.
Okay, sure. I guess I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry for repeating myself, but yeah,
hey.
Yeah.
So okay, so it starts with like basically Hannah. I think maybe a week after she died or something. Then Clay gets the tape. So we start the first episode with the first tape, which was about Justin.
Mm-hmm.
So my thoughts on the first, on Justin in general, douchebag, 100% douchebag. Even by the end of the 6th episode, I don't give a damn. I know, like, you find out later about his mom and stuff, but based on, like, what he did to Hannah wasn't cool, but I guess a part of me doesn't realize why the tape of her sliding, like, you could clearly see she's on a slide, and he just caught her dress up. It's so, like, made people think, oh, he did something, so he must have been spreading rumors, because she's on a slide. It's not like he's not even in the picture, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, like, yes, that was a douchebag move, but I also thought the people at the school, like, they just made it way worse than it needed to be.
Well, yeah. See, my thing with Justin is seconds into the show, literal seconds after the intro credits go off, you realize how much of a dick. You realize who the dick of the show is going to be, or at least one of many dicks of the show.
Yeah.
But he's one of the prominent dicks in the show. Yeah. And like he literally just like walks into him like there's like a Hannah's locker. She's the girl who committed suicide in the school, and pretty much the show is about explaining what her 13 reasons why she did it, and her reasons are people. Now her locker is covered with like a bunch of like memorial type things around it, and what the main character of the story, Clay, he's looking at the locker and he bumps into, or a guy bumps into him, should I say, Justin.
He don't even bump into him.
He
walks up onto Clay and said, "What you looking at?"
In an empty hallway after the bell has rang.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you're going to be that guy. Cool. And as far as the whole, the main premise of the first episode with the picture, it was mainly the context behind the picture. Like, he's claiming that he made it all the way to third base with Hannah. And because, like, it looks like she's being promiscuous because her panties are showing and something like that.
Yeah, but, the thing is, you could clearly see she's on a slide, though. And that's why her panties are showing. Because he took it while she was coming down the slide. But I think what really took it over is, yes, he had a picture of it. But he's also saying stuff as well.
Yeah, he's adding a different context to the picture, right?
Yeah. Like, even though if you just look at the picture normally, you'd be like, okay, that's kind of embarrassing, ha ha ha. You wouldn't really think, because it's not a sexual picture at all.
It's just a revealing one that was caught in a very opportune time. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, basically. He kind of tricked her into going down the slide. Now if you, like, rewatch it, he's tricking her basically going down the slide to get the picture.
You see, here's how I feel about that if I'm a female. And I'm going down the slide. 1, I'm probably gonna avoid wearing a skirt. 2, I'm probably gonna avoid anyone taking a picture of me coming down a slide while wearing a skirt.
Okay, first of all, I think when she wore the skirt, she didn't expect to go down a slide. Number 1, because she just...
Well, yeah, but even throughout her little date in the park, you could always say, actually, no, I'm wearing a skirt. I'm gonna not do that. On top of which, she know there were pictures being taken because the guy had his flash on while taking these pictures.
No, she said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, he told her. Well, I mean, my point is he found out. Like, they both knew that their pictures were being taken.
Yeah, but he still didn't have a right to send it. Well, you know what?
I mean,
that goes back to that. He didn't send it. His friend held him against the wall while he barely tried to get the camera back, and his friend Bryce sent the picture. But he didn't do anything. He didn't speak up for her. He basically pussied out, 100%.
Yeah, he liked having the rumor behind him, making it to third base with her. And I guess that's why he didn't step up. But man, this guy is a piece of work, man.
I mean, there's like a couple moments, like the scene in the classroom where she first knows about the picture and stuff, and he's like, someone's like bragging him, and he's like makes a face and
he
like
just shrugs it off. Yeah.
So he plays it off. Basically, he's a follower.
Yeah.
He looks up to Bryce. And he wants to be the next Bryce when he graduates, because they make it seem like Justin's younger than Bryce. I think Bryce is older and he should know better, but he's also a douchebag. See,
Bryce is a piece of work, and I really hope actually, I'm pretty sure it's probably very likely that he's gonna be a tape, one of the tapes involved later on, and I can't wait to get into his character a little bit more, because right now all we know is he's the king douchebag, followed very closely by Justin. But right now, it's like, he pretty much like started everything, really. Like, it was really because of Bryce sending that picture. That's like literally the first thing that went completely wrong.
In Hannah's life.
And Hannah, for Hannah, since her friend left. And, that's a whole piece of work, man. I mean, and stuff like that happens in high school. I get it. But, man, it's weird. Like, the show portrayed it pretty well. Like, this girl is hurting. And obviously, she's hurting because she took her own life. But
yeah,
even the whole process of it back in the flashbacks is just, hard to look at. Especially when you find out what happened behind it. Like, she liked the guy a lot. And that's saying a lot for her. That
was her first kiss, yeah.
Right.
And it didn't end well. He acted like a complete asshole afterwards. What else? Okay, let's talk about Clay. I am, like I said, I hate Justin, automatic douchebag. Clay, on the other hand, I don't know if I think I'm supposed to like him, but I'm not sure if I like him. That's how I feel about Clay, at least after the first half. I'm only going to stick to the first episode. Based off the first episode, he was the only character I actually liked in the first episode.
Yeah.
If we strictly go off of that. And I actually like Hannah in her little flashbacks and stuff. She seems okay. She seems kind of weird and sure of herself and confident, but she definitely seems okay. So Hannah and Clay are the only ones I actually like. But something's wrong with Clay. He has a secret, and I don't know what it is. I think he used to have some type of mental issues.
Yeah,
he used to take meds.
Yeah,
but they never tell you why.
They did. I don't think. Okay, actually, I think you left at the time that they mentioned it. But he actually has anxiety problems. I think it's followed by some other conditions underlying.
Okay, I heard about the panic attacks, but I didn't know that they actually gave it a real name.
Yeah, he has something else. I don't think it's like a mental thing, but I think it's like a condition of him handling social situations. Pretty much. It's not so much a mental condition like a learning disability or something like that.
No, I meant like mental illness, like depression, stuff like that.
Is he
like that? Those things are labeled under mental illness.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant. Not like point A and connecting to point B. I knew he's not like mentally disabled. He's very socially awkward, probably because of that. But everyone, I guess that's another thing that was kind of weird. Even though he seems like the loser, everyone know who he is, and I guess it's because it's a small town. It has to be.
Yeah, it wasn't even just him. I think everyone just recognized. One thing we gotta talk about is, speaking of how he knows everyone. Everyone in the school has everyone else's number.
That's the most annoying thing. Even people they don't like or know, they have their number, and I'm like, what the hell? But maybe the whole small town thing.
Yeah, I was about to say that, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like how everyone, on TV shows, everyone just walks into people's houses. They don't knock anymore. They do that all the time on TV shows. They just walk in. And I'm like, in real life, that would not happen, even if it's a small town.
I could live in the safest of suburbs.
And you just not gonna walk
I'm still locking my windows, my front door, my back door, my basement door. The dog door, I don't care. No one's getting in or out without me seeing it happen. But man, I don't know. The whole small town thing is weird for me because right now as a grown ass adult living a full I've had my phone for years, probably since maybe junior year or high school.
Yeah.
And I probably don't have as many contacts as this guy has only in his junior year of high school alone. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Things spread way too fast in this school. As soon as something goes wrong, everyone will know about it. For instance, when the pictures got sent, literally it took a matter of seconds before everyone's phone went off with this from one group text. Like, can you imagine the group text with like hundreds of people in it?
That's so annoying.
Your phone would go off so much that it would probably explode in your friggin' pocket from all the messages coming in.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. We could talk about poor Hannah's mom. Like, she doesn't get better, but at least in like that first episode, she looks haggard. She looked like she'd been through the most, and like I think it was such a thing. Also, another thing, like this is why I'm not sure I like Clay. I know he's supposed to be socially awkward, but my God, he does stupid things. He's always staring at people, so people are always suspicious of him. He can't do anything on the low, and it irritates me so bad. I guess it's frustration. I shouldn't even say I don't like him. It's just really frustrating.
Yeah, I mean...
And you know what? I don't know if you saw Perks of Being a Wallflower.
I have, yeah.
He reminds me of the main character in that. It's like Charlie and Claire are like the same character, except hopefully without the sexual abuse.
Right. Yeah, I don't think like I think that's a pretty good comparison, because my main thing with him is maybe it's related to his condition, but he has these moments in the show where he zones out so bad that he's getting into like car accidents, and like one of the things within the first episode of the show, he busts his forehead open. Like, we're into the 6th episode now, and that wound hasn't like fully gone away. Like that wound's gonna be following him, and it's been since the first episode, all because he was like zoning out. And a lot of the time, like, he's non-confrontational for the most part. Like, he has some moments where he is like, approaching people, but for the most part, he's like, when he has an opportunity to like, do something or learn something more, or have a chance to find something more substantial as far as like the answers he's looking for behind why Claire is having these tapes made or distributed or whatever. There's moments where he like avoids having the chance to do that, because his brain is just like, you know what, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna run the other way very awkwardly and make this look clearly obvious. I'm not gonna be subtle about it at all.
I don't think he knows how to be honest. I really don't.
Yeah, I think it's one of them things in his head like we were talking about before. Like this guy's going through some stuff.
Another character that I want to talk about is Tony.
Yeah.
He doesn't have much speaking lines, but he has a presence throughout. At least from the first 6 episodes, I think he has a presence, especially in the first episode. I like the twist at the end where he knew about the tapes.
Yeah.
But he's not in them as well, which you also find out because he says in the first episode he's not in them. And I actually completely love that he's actually not. Like, he's a part of it and we don't know why yet. But he's like... And like, I have my theories. I want to say my predictions at the end for like the second half of like what's going to happen. But yeah, he's probably like my favorite character. And I guess I have to put Clay because if we're only doing the kids, he's the only ones. They're the only two I actually like from the first episode, at least. I
mean, my thing about Tony as well is he had this weird presence where like the only person he's really like attached to, or like has a close friendship to as far as the 6th episode goes, is Clay. But like when he comes around, like he's one of them characters that no one fucks with. Like, he had like the cool red Mustang. He looks like a Spanish greaser.
Yeah, you know what? I think he's supposed to also be from the other side of the track. Because when Clay like rode to his house, like for some stupid ass reason stole the Walkman when he could have asked for it. And he was like, "Oh, you just rode around the neighborhood on the other side of town." So it's like it's kind of hinting that he's not supposed to do that. And then like he made another comment that like my school doesn't look as nice as this one.
He also mentioned the police, like, they
don't care.
Yeah, they don't care in the neighborhood that he's in versus the one that you're in. Like, I'm sorry, Clay's in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I like the presence that he commands whenever he's in the picture, because you just know that he's just not one of them characters you can push around like Clay, because Clay gets pushed around a lot. But in the 6th episode, no one pushes around Tony. Tony just does his own rules.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next tape. Jessica. Her thing with Hannah was that, so Hannah basically made friends with this. We're also introduced to Alex in the 2nd episode as well, and they make friends. Hannah actually makes friends after her friend Kat moves with Jessica and Alex, so they become like the 3 new kids, and they're all like good. Then Alex fades away because he becomes friends with the job, and then Jessica stays around for a little bit but starts to fade away because she secretly is dating Alex.
Right.
And she bails on Hannah. Now, Jessica's whole thing with Hannah ends up being is that there's a list that gets out. We eventually find out who wrote this list. And Jessica, I think, is actually kind of jealous of Hannah in a weird way. And she doesn't handle it well. So she blames Hannah for it. Like, at first she's behind her with Justin. Like, yeah, fuck him, blah, blah, blah. And then she blames Hannah for the list, saying it's her fault because she's a slut. It smacks the shit out of her in the open. That's another thing I want to bring up. People are doing stuff in the wide open and no one's saying anything. And it irritates me. Yeah. And, like, blatant, like, there's a problem. Like, you should do something. And it's like, no one's really doing anything. The adults are pissing me off. Just like, if anyone saw a series of unfortunate events, not as bad, but I still want to choke the adults just as much as I do on that one.
Yeah.
They're all just, like, stupid. Like, on the douchebag scale, Jessica, like, she's a sellout in a weird way. She sold Hannah out for a boy. And, like, and Hannah, like, I know this is kind of spoiled, but Hannah, like, still watches her back. Even though Jessica was basically not loyal to her. When she got a man, she didn't care about Hannah. So, I guess, like, she's bad. But she was kind of also manipulated to diss Hannah in a weird way. Mm-hmm. But not really. Like, she started a little bit with Alex, but I think they would be closer had the list not happened. But she's one, like, I hate her the least out of all the tapes. Like, at all the at all the 6 douchebags that we heard about, she is the one I hate the least.
Well, she had like a small recovery period later on with the whole what was it, the winter formal, where, like, apparently, like, they're cool. Like, you know, she was drunk and she was about to get driven home by Hannah. And I was like, oh, apparently, like, there, you know, there's, like, it goes, I know I'm not going to, you know, jump right into it, but in the characters that hasn't been introduced yet. In her episode, you know, she's dealing with some things about her being gay and some more pictures being, you know, distributed.
Hey, don't get into that.
I'm not making any names. Hold on, give it a second. But I'm just talking about Jessica here, because the fact that, you know, Jessica was at the formal and, like, you know, she got driven back.
Okay.
So, you know, I don't know when particularly, like, the timeline isn't very hard to follow, but it does make you. But there are some points where it makes me ask some questions, though. Like, you know, I didn't really realize when.
Well, I think we're seeing the first, like, we're seeing sophomore and, like, freshman and sophomore year.
Yeah, no. Just the timeline between when Jessica and Hannah got cool again. Well, not cool, but, like, you know, amicable again. To the point where, you know, she's her designated driver to get her home.
I don't think that was. I think that was Hannah just looking out for her anyway. Because Jessica never even apologized because she mentioned that while she was drunk.
Yeah.
So I don't think they ever really got cool. I just think Hannah was just trying to be a good friend to her, even though Jessica was a piece of shit to her.
Yeah.
I think it was never really hey, let's hang out, or hey, you know what, I'm sorry, blah blah blah. It was literally her trying to be cool with her. Another thing that, like, she did in the second episode, Jessica felt guilty. So she said, Hannah's lying, blah, blah, blah. But when she said that, you could tell she knew it was bullshit. Like, she knew she was lying to Clay.
Yeah.
And Clay, like, one thing I do like about Clay, and that's why he's like I said, him and Tony's the only one I really fuck with, is that he is straight up about the fact that, like, you all could have did better. He calls Jessica out on it. He calls all the characters out on it. And I kind of like that. No. And he even calls himself out on it, but he doesn't know, like, we haven't figured out what his thing is. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Anything more on Jessica?
No.
She didn't really have much, right? Oh, another weird thing is she's also dating Justin. So I think it's kind of shitty that she dated the guy that, like, did that to her once best friend. But, you know, I don't even know how that happened. And, like, why would she be cool with a guy who would send a picture of a girl out there like that? Like, I wouldn't date a guy who did that. Yeah. Because I know that if he could do it to her, he can do it to me. Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
Especially since we find out later on that that Jessica is clearly a lot more willing. So.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's kind of weird. And I also don't get why Hannah's labeled the slut. Like, even before the picture, Justin treats her like she's a slut. But, like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Maybe because I guess the park was like a test. Because, like, yeah. Because if she didn't go, then, like, oh, different. Because he came off really sweet and then turned to an asshole. But, third tape, Who was the third one? Was it Tyler?
No, it was Alex.
Yes, Alex. He was the catalyst towards basically the end of Jessica and Hannah. And he basically, because Jessica didn't want to sleep with him, he made a list of basically doing the best of he gave Hannah best ass, and then he gave his girlfriend worst ass. Because he was pissed, because he didn't want to sleep with her. Now, Alex, he was getting higher on my list of least douchebag. But I did not like him that third episode, only because...
Still don't like that guy.
No, I mean, because he feels guilt. Yeah. Everyone else is trying to either be in denial or act like they're right or not even realize that they're being assholes. Only the girls and Alex are kind of feeling guilt. Jessica's just in denial about her guilt. And then future characters actually show remorse, but they're scared. He is actually feels guilty. I thought he was going to kill himself in one of those episodes. I think it was the third one where he went in the water when he was drunk.
You see, I thought he fell in because he was drunk. I don't think he was trying to kill himself. That's what I thought.
Because it didn't look like he was trying to save himself for a while.
Yeah, he was just floating,
and then he was
suspended in the water.
Yeah, and then he was fuck that, no. But he actually felt guilty for being that big of a jerk, and he said that to Clay. Mm-hmm. And Clay, again, like I said, call him out on it, which is why I like him. And then I don't like how he's friends with Justin. I think he's only doing it to cover his own ass as well. So that's why he still stays low, because he's a sellout as well. You see,
and the thing is too, one of the reasons behind why he has his tape now too is because you think it looked like a compliment towards Hannah that he put her down as best ass. But the reason Hannah's having a hard time taking that is because this whole school is pretty much full of sexual predators who's just grabbing. Well,
yeah, that's in this episode.
This goes, you're right. This goes back to Bryce, because when he finds out on the list now that Hannah has or was written down as best ass, as high school kids do on certain lists, he just in the middle of out of nowhere grabs her ass in the liquor store. And this is another one of the points where I'm
and also Bryce looks like he is probably 18 or something.
Yeah, he looks. I don't know if he's a big kid or an old kid. I don't know. I can't figure it out yet.
He said, I normally don't fuck with sophomore problems. Which means that I think Bryce is probably a senior. Mm-hmm. Was either a year or two above them or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he shouldn't and plus if he's showing the ID and you see him walk on a teenager like that, why are you not doing anything?
Yeah, it goes back to the whole adults aren't doing shit in this town, but yeah, because it happened right in front of the cashier guy, but he's kind of a douche anyway, so
yeah,
I doubt he's a responsible enough adult to do anything about that.
Yeah, it was pissing me off. And then another thing was when all the jock guys tried to corner Clay, because another thing that we are not mentioning is that each person that we're talking about on each of these tapes have actually heard the tapes already.
Right.
They have actually heard it, and they did the pass along to basically save their own ass, right? And somehow Clay got the tapes, and now they're worried about him basically snitching. Yeah. Because he is actually probably the only one who, I think he's in love with Hannah, or was in love with Hannah.
Well, and she liked him too. Tyler's also in love with her. But we'll get to him when we get to him, though.
Yeah. And he, so he would probably be the one to say anything. But Bryce was just a complete jerk, and I did not like him, and I don't even understand if he's older. Why is he even involved? You have your own life. You're preparing to go to college, and you're worrying about what these sophomores do.
And this guy's pretty. The worst part is he's really well off. His family's I'm gonna say wealthy, because he's got a big freaking house, a whole pool house, a pool, and the pool house is pretty much just being given out to his friend Justin, who's by the way, he ran away because now there's an investigation around Hannah's suicide.
Yeah, because her parents are actually suing, saying the school knew about the bullying, didn't do nothing, and didn't inform the parents.
Right.
So they didn't actually try to prevent. So now the school is kind of covering their own ass. The parents are trying to investigate, and that's why the tapes are even more important. Because if the tapes get out, and even though if the tapes get out, a lot of people are going to get in trouble. All those kids can lose their futures, basically.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty elaborate thing that Hannah's pulling off too, because I mentioned that I thought for a post-suicide explanation or exposition, this is really theatrical for something to happen. Clearly it's not something that would happen in the real world, but I like how it is progressively transitioning everyone's story into each other else.
It's kind of weird. She's kind of like a ghost. It's like, even though she killed herself, she wanted revenge anyway.
Yeah.
That's literally the point of these tapes, a little bit. Or to teach them some type of lesson. Like, she's like, I don't want to live anymore, but I'm going to make you understand why you're the reason I am dead.
Right.
Essentially.
We can go on to the next
Wait, hold on.
We were in Alex just a while ago.
Yeah, Alex, like I said, Alex is right under Justin for me for douchebag, at least from the first stream. Jessica's the least out of the first stream. He started on at the very top because he did the whole new kid thing, and like, you know, they had something in common. But then I put him way the hell down after I figure out. Like, sure, he has some like redeeming moments, but I'm not gonna. Out of all the 6, he's like one of the least worst. Like, if I had to pick, I would never put him in at least the top 3 of the 6.
You see, I take sexual harassment pretty back. Like, you know, everything that everyone does in their certain tapes did something to Hannah that made her feel some kind of way. And I really hated this guy's because, granted, it's a small thing, but it really blew up in the school though. And like, he had no business putting her name down.
Yeah, but he did it to hurt his girlfriend. That's the only reason he did it.
I'm only mentioning him because like the only reason I don't find him very redeeming for himself is Hannah walked around school with everyone looking at her ass from behind and taking pictures of it. And then we already mentioned the Bryce thing, and like I don't know. Anything that leads to sexual harassment for me quickly shoots you to the top of my I hate you list. So
no, okay, yeah, I completely agree. I'm just saying he's lower in my list because he shows remorse immediately.
Yeah.
Everyone else is not.
And I can see why you see that. I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm just saying, like, personally, if at least
he's still a piece of shit.
Any type of ass grabbing or humiliation like that, then you're going. You got a special seat at the top of my list. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Okay, so next tape is Tyler. Now he's like number 2 for me only because he's a creeper. But basically, he was Hannah's stalker, and the stalking's bad, right? The stalking's bad. And it also introduced the new character, Courtney. Mm-hmm. And she was teaming up with Hannah to like find her stalker. They got drunk, and Courtney kind of showed the fact that, she's in the closet. I don't know if she's supposed to be a lesbian or bi, but I'm gonna assume lesbian because I think she fakes interest in men anyway. Mm-hmm. But it's not determined yet. And Tyler caught them kissing in Hannah's room.
While, she was like in her bra.
Yeah. Like, Courtney has no top on and she's in a bra, but Hannah has her shirt on. And so they figure out it's Tyler. Hannah goes to talk to Tyler and was like, please give back the tape. Stop doing this, blah, blah, blah. And then he asked to be friends or hang out with her. And she laughed in his face because she's like, in my opinion, she laughed because she's like, you just stalked me for like a good couple weeks, and you think I want to hang out with you? That makes no sense. He got mad and decided to be an asshole and release the video to everyone. Didn't think about outing Courtney or anything. He just wanted to hurt Hannah, which led to Hannah losing another friend in Courtney.
Yep.
So that's why he hurt Hannah, and he's up high because I don't like anyone that peeks through the window. I don't like anyone. And then he had the nerve to release that picture, even though he was wrong. I guess, he caught it. He was in his feelings about Hannah laughing at him. Well, not even laughing at him. Laughing at the ridiculous statement that they could be friends when she just found out, like, yesterday that you were stalking her and creeping her out and making her. And she mentioned, like, he took away. She didn't feel safe in school because she's being harassed because of what Alex, Jessica, and Justin did. And then you have Tyler, who makes her not feel safe at home. Because she thinks someone's always watching her now. So he goes on my number, like, under Justin because I really can't stand Justin. And he does not get better for me. And then Tyler goes there because I find him super creepy and probably a future, like sexual predator, to be honest.
See, he does, like, sort of get some kind of,
he is
backlash onto himself after, Clay's found out his tape and started making some moves of his own. Because you also find out during his tape that, the way Hannah set it up is you're gonna go to this guy's house and throw a rock in his window or through his window, and you find out that everyone's been pretty much doing that. Like his one of the windows in his house, but I think by his room completely covered in cracks. So I think like 2 of the panels like missing or something like that.
Yeah.
And Clay decides to make his quote unquote make his own justice after trying to figure out how to, like, move forward from this, he decides, all right, well, this guy is naked in his house. I'm going to take a picture of him. So I guess two wrongs and a right makes sense in his mind. Like, at this point, you're taking pictures of a naked guy through his window and then distributing that picture.
Well, that's what he did to Hannah.
Yeah,
Not the naked part, but like take a picture in her bedroom, took a private moment, and then spread it. Just because he was angry.
Does no one in this town close their blinds, by the way? Because I feel like a lot of these problems could be solved by curtains. But, that's just me.
Yeah. And, like, so he got teased, and he felt it, and I was like, well, you kind of deserved it.
Yeah.
You got to taste of your own medicine. Now you know what it looks like.
I mean, I don't personally agree with this kind of revenge personally, but I see why.
I really don't like him. Like,
I see why.
And adults don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny, even when Tyler reports it to Porter, the counselor, who is, I think he's caught in a rock and a hard place because he's like, all right, I want to stay loyal to my job and keep my job because the school is trying not to get caught for, like, any bullying stuff.
Right.
But I know something's wrong.
Yeah, his spidey sense is tingling, right.
Yeah. So he does something I don't like because he tells Tyler, he's like, so what could you have done to provoke them? I was like, you don't tell someone that when they're naked pictures all over school. You bring both the parents in and you talk, you do something. Yeah. So that's what makes me not like him.
He definitely pulled the whole blame the victim card.
Yeah, and that's Tyler mentioned that. Yeah.
It's like saying someone just got their ass kicked, and then you go to the person who got their ass kicked and be like, well, what did you do? Did you step on their shoe? Did you, knock something out of their hand by accident? Like, maybe next time don't walk so close to them. It wasn't the best. Like, I like Porter, don't get me wrong, because the guy's actually trying to, like, he's one of the adults I have some respect for in the show.
Yeah, but I give him some. That.
Yeah, right. This isn't one of his moments that I, hold.
There's another moment that brings it down, but that's like in the 6th episode. So when we get there,
I don't know, man. This guy, he made the wrong call here, in my opinion, and I don't know. I don't think Tyler was the person to go to get any kind of answers out of him, because he's a very skittish kind of kid, like similar to Clay. He's not going to talk, and that now he's like on the. Maybe before he was kind of on the fence about the whole tape thing, but now he pretty much sure that he's committed to making sure Clay does not distribute any more of the tapes.
Yeah, but they don't like him, and it's funny because he tries to say I'm in on this with the other kids, because it looks like everyone has seen the tapes so far, at least from what we met. It seems like they've all seen it, and he's like, I want to be in on this because I'm on the tapes too. And they're like, screw you, you're not one of us. And it's like, dang, even when we're all being we're all being basically blackmailed by this dead girl. Yeah. You still don't like me. Yeah. It kind of sucks. But I still don't like him. I'm sorry. He can go all the way home.
Yeah, stalkers, nah. He took a picture of a half-naked girl. And we should probably mention that, the faces weren't fully revealed, that, it was Courtney in the picture. Like, from the angle the picture was taken from. Yeah, some people do know. Courtney knows, and, it bugs her a lot. And I think her tape's next, right?
Yep. We can go into Courtney. Okay, I'm ranking her lower, too, on a douchebag show. Because I think the guys are always worse. At least from what we've seen, the guys are worse than the girls.
For similar reasons, too. But yeah, we'll get into that later.
Courtney, her story is that, as we mentioned, Tyler took the picture. She freaks out because she's in the closet.
Right.
She just wants to be normal. Even though she has gay parents, she wants to be normal because she's like, you know what? I'm tired of people laughing at my dads. I see what my dads go through, and I don't want to go through it. She wants to be normal. And so when people start to realize that that's her and Hannah, because her and Hannah, actually after that whole Tyler thing, she pushed Hannah away, and then she tried to be nice to her for the formal and everything, and everything was going fine. Until one of the douchebag guys said something to her. So she threw Hannah under the bus, and I love Hannah in the moment, which is why she's her, Clay, and Tony are my top 3 characters, where she was just just because you don't like who you are, you don't have a right to throw me under the bus. Yeah. And so I like that she called her out. And one of my favorite scenes is when Courtney goes with Clay to Hannah's grave before they put the tombstone. Right. And Clay calls her out on it. And it's you knew that Hannah needed a friend and you were too scared to do it. And he says yo, you have gay parents. And I understand her point. She just wants to be the normal girl. Mm-hmm. She does not want to be the lesbian who has gay parents, because she doesn't want people to say, oh, you're gay because your parents are gay. Right. But, I don't know. I maybe because I'm not gay, I don't get it. I get it's hard.
You see, that dilemma kind of sucks because, sure, I see why you have a problem with it, but at the same time, you help cost a life because you couldn't be a good friend. You put yourself first. And don't get me wrong, in some cases, I do say you need to be selfish in certain situations and put yourself first, but this isn't one of them. And she did it in the wrong way, because she said that she was making out with another girl in the story named Laura, who I don't know if she's going to be a character later on. But like Laura's like, she had like 2 lines in the show where she was talking to Bryce, telling him that, you know.
Courtney didn't say she was making out with a girl. I thought she told that boy that Hannah was, and then that that Hannah invited her to a threesome.
Mm-hmm. Right, with Laura, because they said
is Laura a real person? I thought she.
No, Laura's the girl who's in the class who they said you know, that Bryce was flirting with, but like he got put down.
Oh, okay, yeah,
She got, you know, she got like a bowl cut, kind of like brownish red hair. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about now. Okay, but yeah, that thing with Courtney, I get why she did it, and what she did was fucked up. But she's like, in my opinion, she's higher than Jessica only because her reason was more like, I understand it more than I can understand Jessica. Jessica just sold out Hannah for the dick. Let's be real. That's all she did it for. She acted like she was independent and like she can have her own mind, but she cared. She cared about, like, if her boyfriend told her, hey, you can hang out with this person, you can't. And I think that's probably on the low what happened with Alex. I think Alex got friends with Justin and them. Yeah. And then he didn't want his girlfriend hanging out with Hannah because of what they were probably saying. Right. So he kind of hinted that toward Jessica, and she kind of like dumped Hannah. That's what I think happened. I mean, it's not stated, but that's what I'm going with. Because that's what it seems like. Because it's like, I don't get, just because you two are dating, that you can't be friends with Hannah. I'm like, yeah, I think it's the connection to Justin. And like I said, at this point, I hate Justin. He is like my number 1 douchebag so far. Even though the next guy, Marcus, he comes close. But he's like the last episode. Actually, the next one, right? Yeah. Yeah, he comes close. He's like number 2 with Alex around there and Tyler. They're all like the same thing.
I've still got Bryce as the king up the top. Like he doesn't have like a very fleshed out thing right now. I'm waiting.
Yeah, but I'm just basing off the tapes.
What we know right now. Yeah,
off the tapes. He's probably the alpha douchebag. Oh, yeah, he probably is. But yeah, I get Courtney. I got why she did it. But like, everyone's just selling Hannah out left and right, and she's still caring about these people. And she has a big heart. Clay is not noticing signs that Hannah likes him. He's not. But I get that he has no real game, and I want to see his tape so bad.
I don't think anyone in this entire high school has any kind of game, but I digress.
All right, so we're gonna get to the last tape, which is Marcus. And what Marcus basically did was like, he basically asked Hannah out to see if she was easy.
Yeah, from the Valentine's Day thingy.
Yeah. And he made a move on Hannah in a public place. She kicks him off scared. And again, no one does anything. And, like, his friends laugh. And I was just like, oh, so annoying. Like, I don't get why. The funny thing is, Hannah doesn't come off as a slutty person. There's no real proof that she's sleeping around.
If anything, she comes off as sweet, but everyone's a dick to her, man. Like, I don't know. I feel like if I was in high school with Hannah, me and her would be cool. Yeah. Like, she's cool. Like, she likes, like, you know, dorky stuff. Like, she did the whole, like, you know, watch the moon thing with,
She went because she likes Clay, but yes, I get it.
I mean, yeah, but at least she's, like, you know, open to certain things like that. But like, it's just weird because I feel like, damn, man, like, everyone right now has, like, a weird motivation for why, like, they did something to Hannah. But like Hannah herself, man, I look back on it and think, you know,
I mean, she made mistakes, but she was she was a better person than she was getting treated. Yeah. At least so far, what we know. You know, so Marcus, like, I don't like sexual harassment. He put his hand between her legs and like freaked her out in the thing. And so I was like, yo, why is everyone so fucking aggressive? And let's say she did sleep with Justin or anything, does not mean she would sleep with you. I don't get it. And so now we covered all of them. I want to talk about the adults. The storyline with the mom. I feel so bad for the mother. But I like that her parents are like, no, they're going to remember my daughter. She was a person, and they should have did something. Right. And they also feel bad, and I think it's very realistic. And going back to Clay, like, I think he feels really bad, and like I said, he's probably one of my favorites, only because he's calling out every one of them, like, yo, you're wrong. They're trying to intimidate him. Justin stole his bike, you know. they got him drunk off of 40 because they made him drink it in like 10 seconds. And then like they're doing little things to say, hey, you can't do this. Marcus tried the whole nice approach to get him to let it go so they can get the tapes. Clay was about to do that, and then Tony was like, yo, there's another copy. But no one's going to try to take it from Tony. Because he's Tony. Like, they can't fuck with him.
No, the guy, I mean, like I said, the guy like commands his presence, man. Like the guy is in like a full leather jacket, slicked hair. He's got the old like vintage Mustang. Like you realize that he's like a part-time gangster with his family. Like there's a scene where like he's out there with like 3 of his brothers beating the shit out of some guy who was messing with his sister.
Yeah, he had to learn.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's just the way it is. Who else? I don't like the principal. Because I don't know if the woman's principal or the guy, but
it's the guy. Yeah.
Okay, the guy.
Yeah.
Screw him, because he's so like. But you know, he did have a moment where he was like, you know what, we should have did something.
Yeah,
but he doesn't want
the bathroom stalls.
No, not the bathroom stall. Well, it was after that scene, I think, when he was talking to Porter.
Okay.
He's like, oh, if we did all this investigation before, Hannah would be alive.
Mm-hmm.
He said that. He had that moment, but he's also about covering his own ass.
Yeah.
He definitely is. And then, like, another scene when Alex got in that fight with that douchebag. I can't remember his name.
Oh,
I don't know his name.
I forgot. Montgomery something.
Yeah, he's not that important. Alex got in a fight, and then, like, they did the honor thing, because the only reason they went the honor route is because they didn't want to look bad.
Yeah.
They should have, like, they could have actually, they should have handled it on, like, as a student body, but you know they don't want to look bad, especially with the lawsuit. So they did that. They tried to mediate the fight with the school's honor society thing, and funny enough, it has all the people on there.
Yeah, there are a couple unknown faces. I think there's like 2 unknown faces, but like out of 6, like it's
yeah, including Clay,
Courtney, Marcus, Clay, and who else is there?
That new girl, Sherry. Which we'll
Sherry,
talk about
right,
her.
Yeah.
She so they're doing that and mediating, and Alex lashes out because he feels so guilty, and he's like, it's all our fault. We need to be held accountable for our actions. Even Clay says, like, it's all our fault. Marcus is like, what are you doing? He's like, maybe we should realize it's everyone's fault and not just one.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I did like that scene, but I also don't like it because I feel like Porter was being sneaky about it.
Yeah.
To, again, save his job. But still also trying to do the right thing. So he's kind of in a rock and a hard place. Another scene, I think, that I
mean, we can get into Sherry for a second, because it's
Sherry.
not necessarily her tape yet, but like she's got like a fleshed out character in this last episode that we watched.
Yeah, I'm not like, so she came on the Clay, and I knew she was gonna have a tape automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Because she kept popping up everywhere and stuff.
That's the pattern you can see for anytime someone's about to have a tape. They have like a prominent place in the story somehow. Like it's a classmate that, you know, doesn't have all the information fleshed out yet. Chances are the information is going to get fleshed out in another episode. Like, I felt the same way about Marcus early on. And then Marcus ended up having an episode. I'm like, well, I guess that means, you know, other characters are going to end up having an episode.
I kind of like guessing, like, whose tape is next.
Yeah. It's kind of a fun little thing to do.
And then, like, the thing with Zach. I think Zach might be the next tape and not Sherry. But we'll see. She gets close to Clay. And I think she actually likes him. But she knows if he's if he hears the tape, he ain't gonna want her.
Yeah.
And then she did it wrong. She should have came at him a little more correct. And then it might have been, he might have not freaked out so bad.
Right.
So, okay, what about predictions? Like, for me, I was telling Michael while we were watching this, I think the 13 tape, if there is a 13 tape, because, like, I don't know how many tapes there are. If there's actually a 13 tape, Clay is the last one. I feel like it's going to end with him. I feel like the tape went through all the other people, and he will be last.
Yeah, I can see that happening too.
Also, I feel like his tape might actually be like in episode 12, but it might bleed into 13, and like you'll see the mass effect of it.
Yeah.
I don't really see how this is going to be like a season 2, but I don't know how the season ends yet. Another thing is, I think the tapes, I really think the parents are going to get the tapes in the end. Because there's copies. I think the parents are going to end up getting the tape. And then then everyone's shit is gonna be like psh, everywhere.
You see, I almost hope so. Only for like, I don't like right now in the story. It wouldn't make sense for them to get it because we won't figure out what all the other.
Yeah, we gotta hear the other takes first.
Why I want them to do it in the end is because I honestly feel like bad for Hannah's mom and her dad, because like they're clearly they're both taking the worst, and like, you know, the story focuses on them a little bit to show like all the struggle that they're going through. Like even their relationship is like taking a hit, and, you know, around like Valentine's Day time of all times. So it's really kind of hard to watch. Like usually I don't get my heartstrings pulled on too much when watching TV shows, but like this is like, it's one of them things. It's a pair of parents losing their daughter. You don't get more, you know, in the feels than that. So at least for me, I hope they get the tapes by the time this is done, because they need closure more than anybody else.
Yeah, I think that would be the best, like one of the best cliffhangers.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm curious what Clay did. I think, to be honest, I think he would, if he actually did something, because this tape might not actually be that bad. Like Marcus did something bad, but compared to the other ones, no, actually Jessica did something bad, but compared to a lot of the other ones, she was probably one of the ones that did kind of the least to Hannah. Mm-hmm. She just ghosted Hannah.
Yeah.
Other people like literally got in her face and like said horrible things and actually actively spread the rumors. She actually just ghosted Hannah. But it could have been something small, but he could have been the last straw that broke the camel's back. And I hope that's not the case, because I know he's going to take it really bad if he was like the last reason where she was like, fuck this, I can't do it anymore.
You see, my thing about that is how I'm viewing it is in the first episode she's mentioning, you know, the people that, you know, did her wrong, or like, well, at least, like, you know, the nature of the things that were done wrong to her, you know, as far as what was happening. Like, you know, some people spread rumors, some people hurt her feelings, like, you know, some friends like stabbed her in the back. But one of the things she mentioned that I thought was kind of cool, when I kind of immediately pointed this to Clay even before I realized Clay might have a tape, was that she said some people didn't do anything. And I feel like Clay is like the kind of character, like, since he's so non-confrontational for like a lot of the story so far in the 6th episode, I feel like he's one of the ones who just like watches as like a passerby. Like, even though like they're friends, I'm just looking at it like you didn't really do much while things were happening. Like, you saw things happening, but like, you know and you liked her, but you didn't really like put your foot down for your friend in their time of need. And I feel like that's what his tape might. Oh, this is my prediction. That's what his tape might be circulated around.
Yeah, I could see that. Because like even when like that guy said something to Hannah at the dance, and she looked at Clay. Now I kind of take it back, because thinking of your prediction, she probably looked at him and was like, "Are you going to do anything?"
Right. Yeah. Right. At first, I thought, you know, like you said before, she thought he was judging her or something like that.
I mean, that's how Clay took it too.
Yeah. Understandably so, but I don't know. I feel like that's one of them things that kind of like hinted to me that he might just be one of those guys who was being a wallflower, like we said earlier, and just sort of watched things happen instead of, you know, prevented it.
Yeah.
And he I feel bad if that's the case, because this guy, he's one of the ones who like is he feels like a lot of guilt, even though he doesn't even know what he did yet. Like, he knows he has a tape, and like that's all he's going off of right now. And I kind of feel some kind of way for him as well too, because
I think I might lean towards you, because I don't see Clay actively doing something to Hannah.
Everyone did something so far. No one did anything like passive aggressive yet, like I think he might be doing.
Yeah. I think that's it. I'm excited for the second half.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it too. Should be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know when that's gonna happen, but
work in progress, guys.
Yeah, work in progress. But I'm excited. So I guess we're gonna close out this podcast. Let us know what you think. So if for all the listeners out there, please give some comments, follow us or subscribe. If you're on like iTunes, please subscribe to us. You know, leave comments, give us ratings, so we get some feedback and know what you like and what you don't like, and give us some opinions on this series, 13 Reasons Why, and SoundCloud and Podbean. People follow us and and also leave comments as well. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
See ya.
Bye.